without further ado, Graham, part 2, how do? Over to you, mate. Quick recap. Graham built his own prison. Anxiety, depression, got to 52 stone plus.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, 52 stone plus. His lifestyle and everything affected his family. The hero, who is not in this picture, quite literally, is his missus, who, you know, kept the family together, supported him all the way through. And your weight loss journey, as it were, when it was documented, you did some TV, paper and stuff like that. She weren't there, she was in the background, but she's the one who... You've got a certain strength as a couple now.
Absolutely, unbreakable.
So 52 stone plus with anxiety and depression, still now to this day,
Yeah.
still on medication. What happened to Graham and the family for you to decide enough's enough?
Right, so something had to happen. So I was like 52 stone plus, and
On that plus.
on that plus, yeah. And I got a phone call from my sister. Now you got to remember that at this time I felt as if I was on death row. I knew exactly how death row prisoners had felt. The difference is that they knew when they were going to die, whereas myself, I had resigned the fact that I was going to die soon, and I was waiting for it and I was ready for it. And
Did your family know that, or was that like...
Yeah. Well, just my immediate family, my wife and my kids, they all knew that it wouldn't be long before I died. And then I got a phone call from my sister one day, and one of my brothers, who's just above me in age, he was my closest brother as I was growing up, and she says that he just died. He had a brain aneurysm and it just popped and he died on the spot. And when I looked, and I thought, you selfish bastard, you're just sitting here waiting to die. Stuart, my brother, was he was living life. He just got rid of a horrible wife, and he was rebuilding his life. He just got to sell a new car. He was doing up his house. He had a job. He was working. He had a life. And I just felt that that death was meant for me, and I still believe that that was meant for me. And that just kicked me up the arse, and I just thought, right, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die trying. Because one of the last things we spoke about is he's the only one in my whole family that knew how big I was. And one of the last things he said to me is, Graham, you need to get that weight off. So that was it. Something clicked inside my head. Growing up, I was always scared one way or another. You know, I could have like a 7 stone wimpy a guy bullying me, and I know that looking back, I thought I could have just slapped him, he'd have been done, but I was too scared. I was always scared, and then just in that moment, I wasn't scared anymore.
What were you scared of?
Anything. I was scared of people looking at me. I was scared of people bullying me. I was scared of being called a fat bastard. I was just scared of everything. You know, like, say walking into a restaurant, you know, even when I was like maybe just 20 stone when I was 19, I felt that people were staring at me. So I was always scared. So what happened was that something went off in my head, and I realised that I was scared no more, and I could face anything. So that's when, around about that time, the doctor came out, weighed me, the scale pinged around a couple of times.
Was this your own GP?
Yeah, this is my GP.
Had they monitored you over a period of time, or did you have to you know,
No, they didn't.
did you ask for help?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Why are you smiling?
Because this is an integral part of the story, because you might think, because you're watching TV, you might have a documentary, you might have heard my story before in a paper or on the BBC News or whatever, so you only think there's 2 or 3 people, but really there's people out there that you don't know about. Now, when Barry was on TV, the 50 stone, the fattest man in the UK, at the same time I was 52 plus.
52 plus, on that.
Yeah, so there's, but what had happened was that...
Did you ever meet him?
No.
Okay,
no.
Sorry.
There was one guy that I was asked to help. He was like really, really morbidly obese, and but he died before.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yeah. So there is people out there, because my doctor, he would just keep giving me pills every day. He never used to come in for a checkup. And when I was really big, he came out, weighed me, told me I was only 25 stone. And then, because I had this apron, this underbelly, and it was absolutely huge. It was when I stood up, it was at the top of my socks. That's where my belly was. My belly button had stretched all the way down.
Oh my God.
So there was one day I felt this kind of rough part on my belly, and as I kind of gave it a wee scratch,
just let me warn. If you are squeamish, you might want to put your hands in your ears now.
Yeah. So there was this wee kind of flaky skin, so I just gave it a wee rub, and it opened up this chasm that was like this, and what I did was I got a Kleenex thing, and I wiped it inside, and I could see all the pus and really, really yellow and green crap, and it stunk to high heaven. So I had that. So the lead on for that was the fact that the nurses had to come in to dress that wound with like a silver dressing. Apparently a dressing is cost 25 quid for one. They used to come in twice a day and dress that for me. And one of the nurses had said to me, "Graham, what weight are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm about 25 stone. And she just looked at me and says, "Who told you that?" And I says, "My doctor, he weighed me on the scales." She says, I think you better change your doctors. So which I did. And as soon as I changed my doctors, that's when everything kicked in. I was asked if I wanted to go to the obesity clinic, which I did. And even though I was in such a dangerous state, it took like 2 years to actually jump through all the hoops to get the bariatric surgery I needed.
What would you say? People say, I know they will, I've seen it. I don't mean the people who watch the video will say, but you know, you're just greedy, just selfish getting to that size, and then you're going to impact the NHS or whatever.
Well, you could say that about anything. I mean, like, it was nothing to do with greed. It was a lifestyle that I fell into by accident, and I think there's a lot of things from my past that was a catalyst for that. For example, we only had one fish and chip shop in my village where I grew up, and it was very rare that we could afford to buy anything for that fish and chip shop. So one of the things that I always said was, I wish I had the money just to go and get whatever I wanted for a takeaway or a restaurant. And I think that when I started working, I started eating more because of that. You know, just that wee thing. It's amazing how a wee thing can change your whole life like that. So I mean, I would go to a chip shop when I moved down. I moved down to London when I was 18, and I'd go to the chip shop and I'd get multiple things no, because I was going to eat it all. It's because I could afford
Do you
it.
know why I'm smiling? Because when I played rugby, early 20s, before we went on the piss, we got at Chippy at Broomhill in Sheffield, and I held the record. You could only buy one item once, so a bag of chips was one item, a fish cake was one item, so you got 2 items, a fish was 3.
Yeah.
And I held the record for eating, I think it was like 13 items or something like that.
Jesus.
Very much like you, I used to enjoy my nights out. You go on a pub crawl or whatever. At the end of the night, I've walked miles home me because it's either a kebab or a taxi, and I'd choose the kebab. But like you, I would also obsess about it. So it wouldn't be a kebab; it'd be a kebab and whatever else you could afford. And just thinking now about the selfish thing and that, the impact on the NHS, alcohol.
Well,
During lockdown, I heard on Radio 2, I can't remember now, but the figures for people, however they compiled them, who had become alcoholics, the consumption of alcohol, the impact on the NHS and everything else, and it was shocking.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree more. So that was going to be a point of mine, is the fact that, you know, it's people go out and get pissed, and they can be the nicest people, but when they've got a drink in them, they're Goliath, and then they're getting stabbed, they're stabbing each other, and, you know, as a fat person, yeah, you do, you know, have to do some, and I mean, like, you do cost the NHS something, but we don't go around stabbing people for, you know, a fish supper.
No, it is, it's tragic, isn't it? Alcohol, unmonitored, unlicensed, uncensored, no limitations on it.
Yep.
It's absolutely destroying society.
Yeah.
Sorry to take you away from your...
That's all right.
So it took you 2 years to get the point of surgery. Now, I'll tell you now, Graham, these things that I never thought of. A couple of things I asked you. I asked you what operation you had, yeah? And I asked you whether you had skin removed. But there's so much more in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's not... You see, again, and I know people who've had gastric bands and the like. You think you have a band fitted, you lose weight. It's dead easy.
Yeah, no, it's not. So, in 2012, or just before I go to that, with that gaping wound I had like these big sores, and they were like a really pussy blister, huge.
Thanks for that again,
And
Graham.
it would cause so much pain. And my wife, she'd be the one that, you know, I say, Sarah, I'm in pain, and she said, all right, and she would burst it and have to, you know,
Deal
clean.
with it.
Yeah. So again, she's the hero.
What, can I ask something, Graham? I've got to ask. What about intimacy?
Yeah, so you don't have your sex drive is no more at all. However, the other side of the coin is when you've come through the other side, you're more, you know, you're rampant.
Okay, I don't think we need to go in that anymore, do we? We'll leave that there.
Yeah. So I was telling you about the boils and all that, right? So the first operation I had to have was called the gastric sleeve. Now this was always going to be a 2-part operation, so the sleeve is restrictive, so I can't eat so much. So I done that for a year and a half, and then
Mentioned the milk before.
the milk. Oh, aye, right. So with bariatric surgery, if you're a really big person, I mean, even a smaller person, you go in this thing called the milk diet, where...
Can I just translate that?
Yeah.
With your Scottish? How come you've still got a Scottish accent like that?
I don't know. It winds me up and all.
Milk. Yeah. We're talking about milk now. The milk diet.
Yeah, from a coup.
Go on, from a cow. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, so I had to go on milk diet, and what that consisted of, it was 8 pints of milk, semi-skim milk a day, and then there was a salt drink, like a Bovril drink at night time, and usually people will go on that for a couple of weeks. What it does is it gets rid of the fat in your liver, so that the doctors can then lift your liver up and get it into your stomach behind your liver.
So it's a necessity.
It is a necessity. So the surgeon says to me, Graham, I want you to lose such and such amount of weight, and if I'm going to weigh you on the morning of the surgery, if you've no lost that, I'm not doing the surgery. And he stuck to his word.
Just drop into me.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
So he stuck to his word, and he did weigh me. So I'd done 3 months with milk only, and to my
No solid food?
No. To my surprise, I really enjoyed it. I really didn't want to stop. I quite enjoyed the milk diet, and I was able to lose 9 stone in the 3 months.
9 stone?
Yeah. But I wouldn't advise, unless your doctor says so, for you to go and run out and go into the milk diet.
No.
Because you're not getting all the nutrients. I had to go onto you know, like the multivitamins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I did that, and I went and he weighed me. He was over the moon with me, and he did say to me that there was a 20% chance of survival.
20%?
Yeah.
20%?
20%, and I know that on the morning of the surgery, there was I think 3 surgeons, a couple of plastic surgeons, 2 anaesthetists. There was a huge team, top level medical staff, and I had to go straight into intensive care. So
from the op?
Yeah. So on the morning of the operation, he came in, he weighed me. I said bye-bye to my wife.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. I'll tell you how I felt at that time. Was I still had it in my head that, you know,
you're on death row.
I'm on death row. So I thought, at least if I die in the hospital, it won't. Yeah, and it wouldn't be traumatic for Sarah.
Because it was expected.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. So, and you know, Sarah wouldn't need to deal with, you know, getting me out of my house if I died at home.
Did you really think about things like that?
Oh, aye, you have to, I think. I'm quite realistic, and I'm just, that's just my thought processes. You know, like, I didn't want to die. However, I couldn't change until something drastic, like my brother dying, that pushed me. So yeah, I said to Sarah, you know, love you, kissed her, bye-bye. What I didn't tell the doctor was that the surgeon, is that my underbelly was really severely infected. So they put me on the table, they done the bariatric surgery part, but what they done free of charge, no through the NHS, was they cut my apron off. Now they cut the apron straight across rather than round, and what it did is, by the way, what was cut off was
I'm not laughing.
Like 9 stone get cut off.
9 stone?
Yeah.
That was your belly?
Yeah.
And was all the badness in that?
Yep. They says that the whole operating theatre was flooded with water because of this infection.
Thanks for this, Graham.
Yeah. He says, you never told me I was infected, so you never asked. So I did say to my surgeon, if you save my life, then I will definitely.
You missed the bit that made me laugh.
Oh, right. Yeah. So when they cut off the 9 stones of underbelly, it left me with 2 dog ears like this. So the bottom of my belly looked like a square. And I hadn't a belly button. My belly button wasn't there anymore.
What did I say to you that you should have done?
What?
Tattoo.
Oh, a tattoo, yeah.
Tattoo of a dog's face
Yeah.
with your two ears. Sorry,
Yeah.
Graham. We have to interject a little light note onto that.
Yeah, so I was left with these dog ears, and when I woke up, I felt great because when I was on the operating table, and can I just say this one thing?
You
right?
can say anything you like.
Everybody who goes on about racism, right? Most of the doctors that was there, all the doctors was there was either Indian, Pakistani, or of Asian descent. The carers that looked after me after the operation was Filipino lasses, and what was that?
Probably my tummy.
Yeah, so and the lady who held my hand, because she knew I was nervous, as I was going to sleep, was this black lady, right? So anybody that's racist out there, you know, have a wee word with yourself.
Think
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So, where was it? Yeah, I woke as I was going to sleep on the operating table. With this belly was sat on my legs, and it felt as if there was a heavy man sat on my legs.
Yeah, it's 9 stone of belly.
Yeah, and when I woke up, that wasn't there.
So you lost 9 stone on the milk diet,
Yep.
and you lost another 9 stone your belly.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I did say to the surgeon beforehand, listen, if you save my life, I will, do something in life to make other people,
You'll give back.
yeah, give back. And because I didn't have any money, I'm one of these people who are, my word is my bond, and if I give you my word, then that's unbreakable. That's all I've got is my word. So, but yeah, luckily, they put, as I went to sleep, after I was asleep, they put a thing in my neck, right down to my heart, just in case I had a heart attack on the table, this electrode thing. So I woke up, all this stuff was on me, and
Your dog ears.
yeah, my dog ears. Yeah. When the plastic surgeon came in, I said, what are these things here? I was a wee bit pissed off about that. How the fucking got to walk about like that? It was like, I felt like, oh Christ, if I have a pair of trousers on, I'm got to look like one of them Mounties. You know what I mean? The trousers.
Yeah.
But he said, oh no, we'll deal with that at a later date, which they did. They did do me a tummy tuck and got rid of the bloody dog ears. And I think they were like, I think about 4 kilos. I think in total, when they cut off the ears, it was about 7 kilos between
Really?
them. Yeah.
A stone.
Yep.
What about your boobs?
Yeah, well, that was the only thing that was a bit shit, is that I had to walk about with these man boobs, but you can get this compression stuff, so you can put it on and it squeezes everything in and it doesn't look as if you've got anything. But yeah, we got some money and paid for me to have plastic surgery to remove my boobs, so I'm all scarred up. The doctor who gave me a tummy tuck had said to me, do you want your belly button back, because I can do that at the same time. And I said, well, do I need it? And he says, well, no. I said, well, I think it's just a dust collector anyway, so nah, just leave it. So I've not
A
got
dust collector,
Yeah.
just so the people can enjoy the joke.
Yeah, I said, nah, I don't need it. So I've not got a belly button.
So how long from the milk diet to having the boobs off?
Oh, that was good. Maybe 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
How was your anxiety and depression during that period?
Oh, actually, it manifested itself in different ways. Because I lost the fear, I could go anywhere. My head held high, and I didn't give a shit what anybody thought. Because I thought, if you're as close to death as I was, you got a new perspective in life, you know.
I've got to ask you something. I have to ask when I finish.
Yeah.
Do we know how much your boobs weighed?
He did tell me at the time, but the thing is, it wasn't just. See, when somebody gets like the boobs removed, it's just this.
Yeah.
But this one right round, so I've got a scar all the way round here, right?
So
right.
if you'd have wore a bra, it's like the back fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. As it were.
Mhm. Yep.
So actually, you didn't go on a weight loss journey. They cut it all off.
Yeah. They cut all the way off. Yeah.
25 stone, half your body weight cut off. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I done was I joined the gym, and I just went for it.
Joining the gym, right? Have you got a newfound confidence because you've had all this shit removed and cut off?
Yeah, I have, but I still had a wee bit of anxiety walking into a gym, because you're expecting to see these lassies and leotards and big muscular men and all the rest of it.
I think everyone worries about that when they go to a gym, Graham.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that, but you know, like you've just said, other people are exactly the same.
Did you get help, have a personal trainer or anything like that, or did you just go in for yourself, as it were?
Well, again, I went in with my support, my wife, and that's all I needed, was just her and myself walking in, and got somebody to show us how to use a few machines, and we were off. My addiction soon went from food to the gym. I enjoyed it so much. I was at that point, I didn't give a shit about the numbers on a scale. What I used to do was I weigh myself, put it in my phone, and then just not even contemplate, you know, what's going on, have I lost, have I put on. I just wrote it down.
Can I ask you what you're eating now and drinking at this point? You know, the restriction, whatever they did, is that still in place?
It is.
And how did it restrict you? Did it restrict the size of your tummy? You know, what sort of...
Right, so I need to go into the duodenal switch as well at some point.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Is that more weight to be cut away?
No. That's that was the next part of the operation. But do you know, I never thought it. I did lose a lot on.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking Graham's weight loss journey, and they cut it all off, mate.
Yeah, so with the
you don't feel deflated now, the fact that I don't, you know.
Yeah, I've ruined my rep.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, so I had the sleeve. So the sleeve is restrictive, so you can't eat as much as you used to, but as time goes on, that can stretch. But I found that with me, I just continued eating the same stuff and the same amount, even though it might have stretched a wee bit, because I kind of struggle eating, and I can really fancy like a roast dinner or something, and I get into it, 2 spoonfuls, 3 spoonfuls, and I'm
still
done. Yeah.
Is that now?
Yeah. Like me and the missus will go to the restaurant, and sometimes we'll just order one meal, and that's enough for both of us.
You still have a beer?
I still have a beer.
You still smoke?
Yep.
And you are a personal trainer?
I'm a personal trainer.
A real one?
Yeah, a real one, yeah.
What, you know what I mean by that, don't you?
Yeah.
You've been there and done it.
That's it. So somebody with lived experience, teaching people of their own kind. So I was obese So I look after the obese. Obesity is...
What's the name of the... Right, so explain the gym situation. There's a big gym, and then there is a gym within that. Yeah?
Yeah, so, right, the company that I own by myself is called Big Health and Fitness. And
that's Big Health and Fitness.
Yeah, big, yeah. And we look after people who suffer from mental health, obesity, disabilities, because obesity, and I only wanted to do it for obese people, but as time went on I realised, and I was asked by like a disability resources centre if I would go down the disabled route, which I did, because being super obese is a disability, so that's my wee niche. That's what I like to do. I've got, and within the Big Health and Fitness, I've got medical grade equipment, and it's the only medical grade equipment of its kind in the country. And I PT people from,
personal train.
Yeah, personal train people. I've had people from America contacting.
Really?
Oh, aye.
You're very matter of fact about that.
Well, the thing is, it's a small community. I say small. The weight loss community, they tend to look for the next best thing. And the way
we're talking, we had this conversation before we started, didn't we?
Yeah.
We're talking about eating plans. Eating plan's a good word, innit? When you use the word diet, everyone always thinks restriction.
Yep.
And like what you're saying now, there are a lot of fad diets, and they just keep coming out.
Yeah, well...
And the old ones, sorry to interrupt you again, the old ones, somebody told me the other day, have you heard the Cambridge diet? I'm going on the Cambridge diet. That is from...
80s.
Was it 70s, 80s?
It's 70s, 80s, yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, so... the way I do things, and it's a lot easier for people, is don't ban anything. If the way I teach people is, if I say to you, right, you're going on a healthy diet, there's salmon, there's salad, all the fat people know what's the best thing to have, but it tastes like shit to us,
Tastes like shit to me, salad as well.
Yeah. So what's wrong with having a look at their lifestyle and saying, right, instead of driving the kids to work, walk the kids to work? Or it could be, if you're going to have a fish supper for the chippy, alright, well, could you scrape a bit of the batter off and just eat the fish inside? It's just wee things like that make a huge difference. So that's the way I go, and I try to say to them, right, if you do something, if you have a cone, don't feel suicidal about it, just enjoy it, and then get back on it the next day, or straight after the cone. I don't restrict anything, and I think that's what's successful. So, because if you start restricting people...
So you're treating people as individual, you're not, blanket marketing all your 10 clients, you all need to eat this for breakfast, dinner, tea, take these pills or anything else. You're looking at individual, where they are, and small steps.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, exactly, you have to take each individual, because one person says, oh, I love coming to the gym, I'm coming here 4 times a week and I'm spending 2 hours here. They're a wee bit different to people who come and they're shy and they're scared to go into the gym environment, and they've only got time, or they only make time for once a week. Everybody's different. You can't just give them like a type 2 diet sheet. I mean, this is what pisses me off about dietitians. What do they know? Every dietitian I've ever met is skinny. What do they know about being big? And everybody knows if you go on one of these diets that it'll work. It'll definitely work. But for how long? I'm looking at the lifetime. I want them to look at, we're going out. I remember once that one of the lassies I was training, she contacted me down here, but she was from Scotland, and she said, "Oh, Graham, you'd have been proud of me last night." I says, "Why is that?" And she said, "Well, I was invited out with the girls and I didn't go." I said, "Well, why?" And she said, "Because it was going to an Indian restaurant." And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" That's crazy, because like you can go to an Indian restaurant, but do you need to have the naan bread with your curry? Do you need to, there's wee things that you can change that would make, and then you're getting the socialisation.
That is massive, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge, because everybody who's big feels isolated, and I remember thinking that I was the only person in the world that had been this sort of size. But when you go out and even now walking around the streets, you can see people everywhere. They're all bulging. But they all feel isolated. So I get them in, like the courses that I run, 6-week course. It teaches you everything about how to look at your life, how to change, what's the best way to eat.
Free, these courses.
Yep, free. And we get a good turnout all the time, and people enjoy it. The outcome that I want from them is to join a gym. It doesn't need to be my gym. They might come from Milton Keynes to Luton, but I don't necessarily want them to come. They're welcome to join my gym, but all I want is for them to be self-sufficient when they go into the gym. I teach them breathing techniques when they're doing weights, because everybody's got this. One wee thing is like, and I always liken it to when your old man's car broke down in the 70s. We all got behind it and pushed it to get a jump start.
Yeah.
Well, your natural instinct is to go and hold your breath to push it. Well, that's called the Valsalva manoeuvre, and it can kill you. So when, like Elvis, he died on the pan, that was because he was constipated and done the Valsalva manoeuvre where he...
Really?
Yeah, that's what killed him. So I teach all that. So when we get to the stage where they're finishing the course, they'll know how to use the weights properly. You have to do it, 2 seconds out, 2 seconds back, when to breathe when you're engaging the weight. And I'll just say to them, look at the people here doing the weights, and you'll be able to spot who's not doing it right every day. So they come away better people for it, and that social interaction. Now, I never thought about that, but that is definitely the number one thing that we need to push more on.
Anyone with mental health problems. I think that covers everyone.
Yeah.
You become antisocial.
Yep.
And we are social animals.
Yep. But when you put everybody together, and this one's got mental health and that one's got mental health, and I feel too old, but there's another one there that's old. I had a lassie come to me, and because another thing that I always bring up is that when especially women start coming and losing weight, sometimes the husbands don't like that, because they become more confident, more attractive.
Yep.
So the husbands don't like that, and they'll mock them, and so I have to teach that. I say, look out for that, and also love. My mother was on a diet. She was always dieting all the times I remember her, and but my sister-in-law used to come and visit her every Saturday, and she'd bring her cakes, thinking she's showing love, where in fact she's damaging my mum's diet. My mum's thinking, well, I've got to eat them or she'll feel bad. Do you know what I mean?
I've done that plenty of times. Being to people's houses.
Yeah. When
you're not hungry.
Yeah.
And you get offered something and you eat it.
Yeah.
Because you feel bad if you...
Well, exactly. So, again, all these wee tips and hints, it helps people understand more. you know, and I've had the biggest of the big come to me and lose weight. Like I say, even the first guy I ever trained, he lost about 10 stone in 3 months. So, yeah.
So, I'll tell you what I'm taking away from this, yeah? Apart from some comedy moments and some not so comedy moments that will probably haunt me for a short period of time, is, you know, you've got a purpose in life now.
Yeah.
Pretty much all your life you've had depression and anxiety. Got big. Had the weight cut off.
Yeah, had the weight cut off.
No,
Yeah.
on a serious note, been through a lot. You still got anxiety and depression. You're helping people now, giving people purpose.
Yeah.
And looking you as a personal trainer, I'm thinking possibly in my gym, because I do look at the personal trainers. You will definitely be an approachable person. You've got lived experience. You might not look like your classic personal trainer, like you said when you've been on courses.
Yeah.
You're a big lad, bald head, tattoos, and everyone's in leotards and gym shark stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got lived experience. You're doing something now you enjoy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And you know, if you'd have said to me when I was 20-year-old that I would be a personal trainer in a gym, I had more chance of being a spaceman. I hated exercise. PT was one of the classes I used to dog all the time. So but this is the only job that I've ever loved, really. And when you see somebody changing and feeling better about themselves, there's no. See, you get a lot of people that can't. Say, I've got like. We've got other trainers in the gym, but if somebody contacts me and says, "Oh, I want to build up muscles and all the rest of it," that's not for me. I want to help people that need help. I look after a guy who severely handicapped. He's got really bad cerebral palsy, so he's got really bad hips and he's wheelchair bound. But I don't look at him as a disabled person. I look at him like a person with disabilities, and I look at what he can do rather than what he can't do, and we focus on that. So
I think it's fair to say you've learned a lot on your journey, haven't you, Graham?
Absolutely.
I think as a parting shot, you should mention her indoors.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, if it wasn't for Sarah, my wife, I wouldn't be here. She's a constant rock. Even now, if ever I have a hospital appointment, she'll come with me. Every single hospital appointment, she's there. And she's always supported me, even using our own money to start up this venture, the Big Health and Fitness. Luckily,
it's a big commitment.
Yeah. And luckily it's worked, and we were able to buy into the bigger gym. So Big Health and Fitness is like a studio with specialist equipment, injury rehab and weight loss suite, whereas the bigger gym was the gym that I lost my weight at. I've now become one of the partners there, so I'm now a majority owner.
I think we should hook up in 6 or 12 months.
I think so.
Have another chat.
Yeah, that'd be
It's
great.
a chance to bring your missus away for a weekend again.
Yeah, she deserves it.
Graham, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend, mate.
You too. Take care, mate.
Thank you very much, mate.